So we move over to our next two speakers. And it gives me great pleasure to invite the next two speakers, because I've seen how much of a phenomenal job she does on some of the seva that she does. It's really, really nice to see. And she didn't write this in her bio, but I've seen that she's been doing a youth program for the young disciples in America, and it's really inspiring. And so our next speaker is Srimati Anuradha Didi, who was born into Krishna consciousness and met the devotees of Srila Gurudeva when she was 13 and 14 years old, so quite young when she met Srila Gurudeva. And that was in 2006, and then received Harinam in the same year. And then later on, Didi received Diksha from Srila Bhakti Gosvami Maharaja. And like I said, she's a wonderful devotee. I've seen so many things that are happening on her page, and it gives me great joy to invite her to come and speak. Welcome, Didi, and welcome to our program. Welcome.
Thank you so much, Hare Krishna. Well, I have to first beg all of your forgiveness. Can you hear me? Is it good? Okay. Even more shy than myself is my mom. So she unfortunately will not be speaking, but I have her offering that she gave for Srila Gurudeva. So I'll be reading that. And at the end sharing, just one small anecdote. So please forgive us. But I'll just start with quick Mangalacharan, and then somehow Srila Gurudeva, he'll manifest the words. ज्ञानतिमिरन्दस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनाशलाखया चक्षुरुन्मिलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरुवे नमः। गुरुवे गौरचन्द्राय राधिकाय तदालये कृष्णाय कृष्णभक्ताय तद्भक्ताय नमो नमः। श्रीकृष्ण चैतन्य कृपाय कवितः या मर्यादा रक्षति वैष्णवानां कृपावलं माधव प्रेष्ठकामी श्रीभक्तिदं भारतीमश्रयामः। नमः ओं विष्णुपदाय राधिकाय प्रियात्मने श्रीमद्भक्तिवेदान्त नारायण गोस्वामी नित्यनामिने। नमः ओं विष्णुपदाय कृष्णपृष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदान्त स्वामी नित्यनामिने। नमस्ते सरस्वती देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पश्चात्य देशतारिणे। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर शिवासदि श्री गौर भक्तवृंद। हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे. So first offering my unlimited Dandava Pranam unto the lotus feet of my Diksha Guru Nitya Lila Pravishna Vishnupada Sotar Sata Shishmad Shuddha Bhakti Vigan Bharti Goswami Maharaj, and the same unlimited Dandava Pranam unto my beloved Srila Gurudev Nitya Lila Pravishna Vishnupada Sotar Sata Shishmad Shuddha Bhakti Vedanta Narayana Goswami Maharaj, and unto all the rupanug Guru Varga, unto the Vaishnavas who are, were, and will be, and also unto the entire Bhakti Zoom team, Yashodananda Prabhu, Yashodhari Didi, and so many others who are assisting both of you, and to all the Centennial Seva teams. I know that there's so many, so my pranam to all of you. Hare Krishna. So rightfully so, everyone has mentioned that not only is today the Tirobhav Tithi of Srivas Pandit, but also on a very small note, it's also the Independence Day, or America's birthday. So oftentimes, as Yashodananda Prabhu has said, that this, we can sort of break down these walls of sectarianism and also, focus on cooperation, something Srila Gurudev has desired, something Srila Prabhupada has desired as well. That for so many in this world, especially on a day like this, that they're celebrating their so-called independence, when Srila Prabhupada has actually said that for the conditioned soul, he will always be dependent or under the control of Maya or under the control of Krishna. So he would never be independent. He will never be swatantra. So all these people, they're, somehow thinking that, they've achieved their independence, but in reality, even on a small level, we're controlled by the iPhone, my phone, controlled by social media, controlled by your boss, your employer, controlled by landlord, controlled by mortgage company, you're controlled by so many things. So when it really comes time for us to become, to remove that control and to direct that that greed to being under the guidance and control of Krishna, then that's when we see that out of many millions of lifetimes of wandering, this very famous verse, then we get the association of a pure devotee, a bona fide representative of the Supreme Lord. And then it's possible that we get this seed of devotional service. Then it's possible that we get this Krishna Prem. And so he can, free us from the clutches of Maya and, direct us, towards this Ashraya Bhagavan, which for our Srila Gurudeva, for this entire rupanug Guru Varga, is Srimati Radhika. So, our main desire is about becoming anugatya of that Ashraya Bhagavan, of that Ashraya Tattva represented by Shri Guru. So really anything that I'm going to, share today, repeat today, it's for my own edification. It's for my own purification. It's not for, well, if anyone gets any benefit, then that's good. That glorification goes to Srila Gurudeva, but it's really, it's not an instruction. It's mostly for me selfishly. And if I make some mistake, please kindly correct me and also forgive me. So I was actually just thinking about this today that, in terms of chanting, I remember when Kishori Mohan Prabhu and Sudevi, they first came to New Jersey. They stayed at my uncle's house and we were discussing about doing Namjap. And in doing Namjap, that even in between that, if you're sitting in a closet, you're completely focused and then you're calling out loudly, Ha Gurudev, Ha Gurudev. That in this way we can, ask and beg Srila Gurudeva that please come and help us. My mind is wandering hither and thither, that please come and help us. That if we're not praying loudly like this, oh Gurudev, and again I'm saying this to myself, that oh Vaishnav Thakur, that kindly make me eligible to become a servant of yourself, to kindly make me a servant of Sri Nitai Gaurachandra, kindly make me a servant of Sri Radha and Krishna. So in essence, we're saying, if we're not praying like this, we're saying that, don't give me what you have come to give, that rather give me only what I want. That you are, as they say, like man proposes, God disposes. So instead of praying to Srila Gurudev in this way, in a very humble, submissive mood, and saying that, oh Gurudev, please give me what you have come to give. This Nikunji Yuno Ratikali Siddhyai. Please come to give me this thing. But instead we're praying, or at least instead I'm praying only, no, just give me what I want. I want temporary happiness. I want, some peace. I want to be able to pay my bills, all of these different things. So really the mindset should change. And again, I'm saying this to myself. Srila Gauragovinda Maharaj, he says that Gauranga Mahaprabhu, that he teaches us, he says that Krishna is a theoretical teacher, Krishna is a theoretical speaker, but Gauranga Mahaprabhu is a practical teacher. So Krishna came in the form as Mahaprabhu, as we know, to be able to teach us how to surrender to Krishna, to be able to develop this bhakti towards Krishna, this Krishna prem, and how to cry for Krishna. And so we know from Srila Maharaj, and we also know from our entire Gaudiya Guru Varga that this one point that you can not cry for Krishna if you have not cried for Sri Guru. And so Srila Gaur Govinda Maharaj has always mentioned about opening up this crying school, that we must enter into the university of Sri Rupa Goswami, Sri Raghunath Das Goswami. So until you % that you're becoming Sharanagat unto Sri Guru, then you can develop that Sharanagati to Krishna. And actually, that developing Sharanagati to Krishna, you are developing that already when you become Sharanagat to Guru. So, we chant, Swagatam Gurudev, Sharanagatam Gurudev. So we're saying welcoming and surrendering, to Sri Gurudev from the depths of our heart, to Sri Gurudev that perform some heart surgery and to make our hearts the sitting place for his own Ishtadev, which, is always in his heart. So Srila Gurudev, he has said many times that he wants to give everything that is in his heart. Not only 25%, 50%, 75%, no, fully everything that is in his heart. He asked Srimati Shamani Didi that, can you paint my heart? And we see the same heart tirtha of Sevakunj, that where Srila Prabhupada said that it is in this room, in Radha Damodar Mandir, that this is my eternal residence. So we see Srila Prabhupada, Srila Gurudev, they've given us everything, completely, everything, fully. My vessel for receiving that mercy is full of holes. So big holes, small holes, this hole, that hole, many different things. So all of that nectar is slowly seeping out. But I'm praying that by the mercy of Srila Gurudev, mercy of the Srila Prabhupada and the Gaudiya Guru Varga, and also of the Vaishnavas especially, their blessings, that it becomes possible that slowly, slowly those holes can be patched up. Slowly, slowly I can rise to the occasion and actually become a real disciple of Srila Gurudev. But again, we see that Srila Prabhupada, Srila Gurudev in succession, like waves, that are crashing one after the other. You see in the ocean, they've given everything, one installment, and then finally second installment. And then there will be third installment, fourth installment, like that. The acharyas, they leave something for the next acharya to be able to come and elucidate on and illustrate. So something, like we see in Srila Gurudev's bhajans, Guru Charana Kamala Bhajaman, and also Gurudev Kripa Karke. So I'm just going to read their translations because they're just so incredibly beautiful. And Srila Gurudev has encapsulated so much, of offering to the lotus feet of of his own Gurudev within these bhajans. So he's saying that, oh mind, just worship the lotus feet of Gurudev. Without Gurudev's mercy, we have no strength in our sadhan. Therefore, O mind, worship and serve him at every moment. Without coming to Sri Guru in this rare human birth, we are simply wandering about these 14 planes. Oh, how fortunate we are to have come to him, to get the darshan of Sri Hari's devotee. Sri Guru is the blissful embodiment of Krishna's mercy and the reservoir of compassion for the destitute souls. He enlightens us in bhakti, bhav, and prem, and is the savior of the fallen. All the shrutis, smritis, and puranas describe Sri Guru's glories. Offering my body, mind, and very life to the lotus feet of Sri Guru, I incessantly sing Sri Harinam. And then Gurudev Kripa Karke, that Gurudev, bestow your mercy on me and accept me as your own. I have taken shelter of you. Please give me a place at your lotus feet. Please shower your mercy on me because you are renowned as a storehouse of mercy. O my Lord, only then will my sleeping fortune wake up. My boat is caught in a whirlpool. Please take me across this turbulent ocean. You are the ocean of happiness and shelter for bhakti. You are dearer to me than my life and are always on my mind. I chant your name every day. Please ignore my faults. I am a servant of the Vaishnavas and of the lotus feet of my Guru. Please do not forget me, because I am all alone, O Lord. I am a beggar at your door. Please do not ignore me. So Srila Gurudev has fully described what it means to be Sharanagat at the lotus feet of Sri Guru. Complete surrender unto such a Vaishnav, unto a Vaishnav who is Anya Vilasita, meaning that his very being, his very life, his activities, they're all meant for Krishna's happiness, all meant only for Krishna's pleasure. So if we surrender unto that Guru, unto that Vaishnav Guru, and who we hear from, this Granth Bhagavad, we hear how to practically apply all of the instructions that all of the scriptures describe. Then, and also that this particular Guru Vaishnav, or Vaishnav Guru, that he is always engaged in the fire of separation from Shri Radha and Krishna. So by simply association and hearing from such a Vaishnav, that we also feel the heat of that fire of separation just from hearing from them, just by being in their close association. But even if we don't have their close association, like for example, I only had maybe 3 instances of actually physically being with Srila Gurudev. So I cannot speak so much on that, about being with Srila Gurudev for many, many years. However, that especially after Srila Gurudev's disappearance is when you, at least for me, when it really dawned on me that, oh, as Jagannath Prabhu explained, I wish that I had more time with Srila Gurudev, but even so, that hearing about Srila Gurudev from his disciples, from his, sannyasis, his generals, all who he's, all his limbs that he has sent out here and there, from Kishori Mohan Prabhu, Sudevi Didi, so many, that you feel even more connected to Srila Gurudev than if you were physically in front of you. So I remember just even hearing so many different pastimes from Sripad Siddhanti Maharaj. She would speak in Hindi so sweetly, and tears would just be flowing and flowing and flowing. And I'm thinking, oh, Gurudev he's right here. He's never left. Gurudev has always said, I'm closer to you than the air that you breathe. No, we need to actually have firm faith in that. Gurudev has never left. He's within the hearts of those who are nikat, those who are very near and dear to him. So I'm constantly trying to remind myself that my Gurudev has never left. He is always with me. So we pray in these ways, using these bhajans as a way to go deeper into the mood of Srila Gurudev, into the mood of Srila Narottam Das Thakur, into the mood of Srila Lochan Das Thakur, Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur, so that we can truly see what the wealth of the disciple is. The wealth of the disciple is Sri Guru Charana Padma, that is the lotus feet of Sri Guru. Not only that, but is also Sri Guru Deva Tatma, thinking that Gurudev is more to me than my own life. He's more to me than my everything. Do I have, how much time do I have? I have more time. Okay. So I also wanted to read something else. It's regarding the nature of the guileless servant. It's not very long, but this was also something that really moved me. Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur Prabhupada was asked this one question: that what is the nature of the guileless servant, or of Sri Guru? And so he says that were a servant of Sri Guru truly selfless, he would consider Sri Guru to be Devatatma. That is, he would consider him to be non-different from the Supreme Lord, Devata, and the one person truly worthy of his love and affection, dear like his own Atma. And he would also foster the conception or belief that Srila Gurudev is my eternal master and I am his eternal servant. Service to Sri Guru would be his very life. It would be his ornament and his existence. He knows nothing but Sri Guru. Under all circumstances, while he is sleeping or dreaming or eating or engaged in bhajan, he is always thinking of Sri Gurudev, taking his guidance and following in his footsteps. He knows that Sri Gurudev, who is very dear to Sri Krishna, is completely independent and is Ishvara Vastu, an entity non-different from the Supreme Controller, Sri Bhagavan. I pray that whether or not Srila Gurudev accepts my service as I am unqualified, I shall always remain present to render service exclusively to him by all means, through my mind, body, and words. If he rejects me, I shall know that I am unqualified, but Srila Gurudeva is truth. So my sole prayer is this: may temporary sensual pleasures never distract me from serving Srila Gurudev, who is the eternal truth. May they not make me averse to serving him, not even for a second. May Srila Gurudev mercifully accept my service, and may I never fall into bad association and thus be deprived of his association. Although I am unqualified, my sole recourse is the fact that he is especially compassionate to those who are the most unqualified. Thus, with the hope of receiving his causeless compassion, my greed to engage in his service increases more and more. Wow. Srila Bhakti-Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur Prabhupada ki jai. Still, like, I read this and I still feel the impact, because he, again, from Srila Gurudev to, his own Param Gurudev, that you see this service of Shri Guru is so paramount. Without the service of Shri Guru, it's impossible to serve Krishna. This we know. But understanding that full surrender to Shri Guru is this, that we say that, Srila Gurudeva said that Sharanagati is the doorway to bhakti. But if bhakti is within the heart of Shri Guru, then so Sharanagati is a doorway to bhakti, is a doorway to the lotus feet of Shri Guru, which is then the doorway to Sharanagati to Krishna. So we have to first approach Guru in all circumstances, and this is just so incredibly sweet. And this year, yourself included, we've seen, basically hundreds of thousands of disciples, grand disciples, well-wishers of Srila Gurudev. They're serving Srila Gurudev on his centennial year, serving Srila Prabhupada on his quasi-centennial year. So by his mercy, all of this is happening. By all of your sincere endeavor, all of this is happening. So we're so grateful that we can engage like this. I'm so grateful for devotees like you who are, staying up into the late hours and, coordinating these programs, facilitating all of these things. It's absolutely incredible. Srila Gurudev is giving so much mercy, so much Shakti to all of you. And even then, Srila Gurudev's mercy, even prior to this year, has already been spreading. That his heart in the form of Sevakunj is in so many devotees' homes, regardless of institution. And that this Gaudiya Geet Guch also everywhere, because it contains all of the very prominent, it's the most comprehensive songbook that is in all Vaishnava institutions. His books have gone everywhere. That the bhajan by Srila Gurudev, Brajajana Manasukakari Radhe Shama Shama Sham, it's also sung, also even other institutions. So the disciple is literally seeing that his Gurudev is everywhere. He's seeing his Guru's grace is everywhere. He's seeing his Gurudev's hand in everything. So thus we see that, the Srila Narottam Das Thakur in his Sri Guru Charana Padma unto his own Gurudev, that in parentheses at the very end, it says, Eva Jashe Kushuk Tribhuvan, that now your fame will be spread all over the three worlds. So we're seeing Srila Gurudev's fame is being spread completely everywhere. But not only is what you said before, Didi, that, what would please Srila Gurudev the most is by not glorifying him, but is glorifying the entire Guru Parampara. So this Vyas Puj is glorifying Srila Vyasdev, is glorifying all of our acharyas, and not neglecting them. And also Sri Dvaipana Vyas, who, is not only, that is Sri Krishna. So glorifying the Lord ultimately. So we see that, even for these occasions, that by glorifying Srila Gurudev, it's one thing, but even more so glorifying, his own Guru, glorifying his Guru's Guru, glorifying, going up the disciplic line, that this is what is most pleasing, and this is sort of the emphasis of Srila Gurudev's glory and Mahima. So something further is, I still have a little bit of time, right? So something further is Srila Gurudev's emphasis that we are rupanug. So Srila Gurudev repetitively and very emphatically states that Srila Prabhupada is rupanug, rupanug, rupanug in full. not in part, in full, meaning going towards Madhurya Ras. And Srila Prabhupada himself, even in the preface of the Nectar of Instruction, even he himself reveals that he is rupanug, in saying that this Krishna consciousness movement is conducted under the guidance of Srila Rupa Goswami. So is Srila Prabhupada not Krishna conscious? Of course he's Krishna conscious. So therefore he is also rupanug. And then Srila Param Gurudev, Srila Bhakti Pragyan Keshav Goswami Maharaj, he states something actually very quite astonishing. He says that all Gaudiya Vaishnavas are rupanug on the basis of Bhagavad Parampara only. On the basis of Bhagavad Parampara only. That he asks, how many people did Srila Rupa Goswami initiate through the Pancharatrika method? That only Srila Jiva Goswami is his direct disciple, his Diksha disciple. But how is it so that the Gaudiya Vaishnavas, like Srila Gurudev, like Srila Prabhupada, like us also, how is it that on this basis that entire Gaudiya Vaishnava community can accept Srila Rupa Goswami as their guru? How is it possible? So he says that Srila Rupa Goswami himself also was not a direct Diksha disciple of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Even Srila Sanatan Goswami, who is the Siksha Guru of Srila Rupa Goswami, that even then, he will not even for a second say that he is not rupanug. So I just wanted to read just one quick thing from that same lecture. That's the basis, or excuse me, that who is the Pancharatrika Diksha Guru of Srila Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami. He has not mentioned the name of his Pancharatrika Diksha Guru in any of his literatures. He has described the names of his Siksha Gurus in Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita, Adi 137. E Chaya Guru Shiksha Guru Ye Amar, Tan Sabar Pade Padma Koti Namaskar. I offer millions of obeisances at the lotus feet of these 6 Siksha Gurus of mine. And at the end of each chapter of Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita, it is written, Shri Rupa Raghunath Pade Yara Asha Chaitanya Charitamrita Kahe Krishna Dasa. I, Krishna Das, whose aspiration is to attain the lotus feet of Shri Rupa and Raghunath, narrate Chaitanya Charitamrita. By these statements, he has accepted Shri Rupa Goswami and Shri Raghunath Das Goswami as his main Siksha Gurus. Thus, he has also accepted them as his gurus on the basis of Bhagavad Parampara. From these facts, it becomes thoroughly obvious that Bhagavad Parampara, which includes Pancharatric Parampara, always shines forth brilliantly. Therefore, whoever ignores these facts and casts aspersions upon the Guru Pranali of Sri Baladev Vidibhushan, Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur, and Sri Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur, and whoever doubts that they are Rupanug, is certainly a staunch opponent of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and a secret agent of Kali. So these words, I mean, so incredibly strong. Srila Param Gurudev is writing. Even also Srila Narottam Das Thakur, he is not a disciple of Srila Rup or Raghunath Das Goswamis. Our Srila Gurudev is not a Diksha disciple of Srila A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada. So this Bhagavad Parampara is so incredibly important that this is how we can even call ourselves Rupanug. So Srila Narottam Das Thakur, he always is praying that Rupa Raghunath Pade Hai Beyakuti Kabe Hame Bhujava Se Jugala Piriti Rupa Raghunath Pade Rahu More Asha Prarthana Kore Sava Narottamadas. That first, Srila Gurudev has always said that we are aspiring to be servants of Rupa Raghunath, specifically of Raghunath Goswami. Why? Because he is the foremost Rupanugacharya. He is always following after the lotus feet of Sri Rupa Goswami, Sri Rup Manjari. And this Rati Manjari, Rup Manjari, they're very close in seva. And Rati Manjari is always asking and hinting and praying to Shri Manjari that please engage me in service to our Swamini Srimati Radhika. So we see this importance of rupanug, and it only really came to light, not even just from Srila Prabhupada's time, but it was heavily hammered into us by Srila Gurudev so much because of this staunch nature, and also because of needing to understand what is our actual prayojan, what is our actual goal of this life. So we're so completely indebted to Srila Gurudev for being able to highlight this for us. So now I just want to read my mom's glorification, and then I have time?
Yeah, you do. Yeah, you do have time. I just wanted to can I just say a couple of things about what you said, because
Sure.
because
Yes.
you were absolutely phenomenal. What Harikatha that you've just spoken is like, it's like Gurudev has, there's so many people, there's so many disciples I meet of Srila Gurudev, and I see those that have spent less time with Srila Gurudev have this fire in them. I don't know what Gurudev's done, but he's added this massive amount of fire in them that they're able to really push themselves to get to know Srila Gurudev in so many different forms. And I think that Gurudev's done that with you. It's just, what you've just spoken is incredible. You went from speaking about how we're not independent, but under the control of Maya, and you took us to so many, like, talked about how we need to surrender onto Srila Gurudev, and actually doing that we're able to really actually grow in bhakti. And then from that you went and you really went into it. Actually, you didn't even just minutely do it, you really delved into that whole process of Saranagati and getting that right. And then you said something really wonderful about Seva Kunj, and how Srila Prabhupada also said that this is my eternal home, and how Srila Gurudev has also put Seva Kunj everywhere to the world. So they're all hand in hand, and you can tell this is what, when people see difference and in things. And I always look at Srila Gurudev, and I always see that our Srila Gurudev was so accepting, and he was so loving. He never restricted anyone, from everything that I've seen of him, know of him, he accepted me. I mean, I'm the worst probably of them all. So
No.
if he accepted, no, trust me. But if he accepted me, I think to myself, okay, he must be accepting to so many if he's done that with me. So it really highlights that about Srila Gurudev, that actually they're all the same. Our Guru Parampara are not separate. They can never be separate. If they are like honey, and it's running honey, it's not broken. It can't be broken unless someone tries to put their finger across it, and even then the honey goes over. It still doesn't break. So this is our Guru Varga, and you beautifully described that and beautifully established that. And Gurudev, you took that mood of Srila Gurudev and established that. So I'm really grateful to you. And also, you spoke about glorifying Srila Gurudev, and how through glorifying, to be able to glorify Srila Gurudev, we glorify our Guru Parampara. And actually it takes us all the way back to Krishna. By glorifying one after the other, we always go back to Krishna. And this is the essence, and this is the beauty of Guru Parampara, that it takes us all the way back without hesitation. And then finally, you did the most phenomenal job, which is encapsulating the concept of Rupa Goswami and what he came to give us, and how Gurudev established this, because this was something that was so close to Gurudev's heart. Rupa Goswami and Raghunath Das Goswami, he every single lecture that I've probably heard, where it's been a while, he always somehow or another, it's like he always spoke about the gopis, and he always spoke about Rupa Goswami, always, without hesitation. And this is the absolute beauty of him, and you've done a phenomenal, I can't even explain to you. So you should preach more, because you've done it. You were so engaging that I just want to continue listening to, if I'm being really honest. But thank you so much. And I know now you're going to read your mum's Pushpanjali, but I just wanted to, when she does get a chance to listen to this, just tell her that her family is always here and we're always waiting to hear from her. So if she ever feels inspired to speak, just to contact me or Yashodananda Prabhu, and she can come at any point.
Thank you so much, Didi.
Right.
Thank you. Yeah, Srila Gurudev is so incredible that he can take someone who is like how you see the Lord, what he's doing. He can turn a king into a pauper and turn a pauper into a king. So Srila Gurudev he's just small thing, so low self-esteem and hardly saying anything. But this is, you see how Srila Gurudev really impacts and gives his mercy, that someone who was unable to speak in one time, but Srila Gurudev gives all conception. Srila Prabhupada also, Srila Gurudev would say this, that who has given you your conception? And, different devotees would say different names and think, oh, they spoke like this, spoke like this. He said, no, I have given you your conception. So we have completely indebted to Srila Gurudev. Any words that come, if they're the correct words, then somehow it's all Gurudev's mercy. So I'm very, I'm completely indebted. So my mom's offering, and then just one, if there's some small time, I just want to share just one like personal thing. So she starts out with Mangalacharan. So I won't necessarily go into that. And then she goes into Shri Guru Vandana, which is by Vaishnav Das, Jai Jai Shri Guru, Prema Kalpataru. And so she had listed the whole bhajan. And then she says, Srila Gurudev, this bhajan resonates with me as you mercifully gave me Harinam, as you mercifully gave Harinam initiation to someone as unqualified and undeserving as me, as well as the invaluable jewels of Sri Vrindavan Dham. You brought the holy Dham with you and impressed it within the hearts of your disciples. Srila Gurudev, you came and carried the torch from Srila Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada, helping this whole world in such a short time. Just in the bhajan of Srila Narottam Das Thakur, Shri Guru Charana Padma, you removed ignorance with the torchlight of knowledge. Similar to our Srila Prabhupada, you swiftly dispelled any misconceptions and doubts, allowing your disciples to grow deeper and deeper in their connection, as I also have. I can see the difference in my own life ever since you laid your penetrating gaze on me. Gurudev, you have given everything to us. You increased our love for our Swamini, Srimati Radhika. You are always there to answer my questions and doubts that arise in all forms, as you are truly closer than the air we breathe. I especially have seen this during audio seva. At times when I am feeling down, I remember you stating, don't be hopeless, don't be weak. Oh Gurudev, please give me the strength to become serious in this lifetime, as you instructed, so I may one day be eligible to serve our Swamini under your guidance. Oh Gurudev, kripa karke, I am alone. Please never let me go, and keep me at your lotus feet always. Oh. Let me cling to your lotus feet and never let them go, no matter how many births I may take. Although I am undeserving of your mercy, please let me become a true disciple, a disciple you can be proud of, someone who is worthy of your mercy. Your fallen servant, Sunita Dasi. So that's her glorification. And so I just wanted to share just one, small anecdote about really the, Srila Gurudev being Tri Kalagya, meaning that he is a knower of past, present, and future. And so my uncle, his name is Rajiv Lochan Prabhu. One time he was, basically weeping in front of Srila Prabhupada, and he was praying to Srila Prabhupada that please give me that I want a guru like you, that please send me a guru like you. And so we see, Srila Gurudev, he met Srila Gurudev in, I think, maybe 2000, 2001 or 2002. First, Bhumipati Prabhu, Dandi Maharaj, Puru Prabhu, they came to his house just unexpectedly. and they were able to talk to him about Srila Gurudev. And so we see that, his prayer, it came true. And then naturally, he actually took initiation, both Harinam and Diksha. And then Srila Gurudev said to bring your whole family. And so my uncle did that. He brought his parents, he brought my mother, his siblings, he brought he brought me. And, so my uncle definitely did his seva. He did his part in serving Srila Gurudev like that. And then when I was, this is sort of backtracking, prior to Srila Gurudev, before I met Srila Gurudev, that I was maybe around 10 or 11, and my mom somehow always had affinity towards Srimati Radhika. I don't know exactly why. She would be able to tell you, but now we see in our philosophy why. But at that time, I was not thinking anything like this. I did not know anything like this. So, but she had this strong affinity. And so one day I asked her, I said that, Srimati Radhika always gives her mercy to you, that when will I have her mercy? And so then she told me, well, you can pray for her mercy. You can pray to her for her mercy. Of course you can have it. But I didn't realize in what form her mercy would come. And just a few short years later, when I was 15, then Srila Gurudev appears. And I remember that my aunt, my great aunt, Dr. Ashalata Pandey, she had pleaded with Srila Gurudev and begged him, please come to my home, come to my home. So for one day, Srila Gurudev, between his trip from America to India, he came to her home. And so the entire house was just filled with saffron, just sannyasis, brahmacharis, all the entourage that Srila Gurudev traveled with, everyone was there. And also that evening we did a program. They had organized a program at the Hindu Mandir in Staten Island. So, just hundreds of devotees came. I mean, from ISKCON, from, so many. And I remember we were waiting in one room because Srila Gurudev was in the master bedroom. So with Madhur Maharaj and Brajanath Prabhu and Ramachandra Prabhu. So we were all waiting. And, I was getting nervous. My mother's nervous. Everyone's so nervous. And, then finally we were called in. And my late grandfather at that time, he only suffered one stroke at that time. At that time, he was still alive. And his name was Narayana Das. And so I remember he was one of the first to walk in. And the first thing that he did when he walked in was, he offered full Shastang Dandava Pranam, and he said, Srila Bhaktivinoda Narayana Goswami Maharaj Ki Jai. And it was like the first, to see my own grandfather, who I looked up to, and to see that he was, offering this pranam to Srila Gurudev like this. And so I said that surely this personality must be so special. But again, I was 15, foolish, ignorant, not knowing, just public school going girl. And I just remember Srila Gurudev, there was some glow, there was some effulgence about him. I couldn't necessarily tell what it was, but he was glowing. And at that time, my mother had already taken Harinam, and she said to Gurudev that you please also give my daughter initiation. And so her role as a mother became safal in that moment. It became successful because she offered me at the lotus feet of Srila Gurudev. And so I came close to Srila Gurudev. I was like inches from him. And he asked me my name. I said, my name is Asha Jyoti. And he said, okay, Anuradha Dasi. And so, I, again, coming back to that question that I had asked my mom about when will I receive Srimati Radhika's mercy? And here I'm seeing her associate, her own personal kinkari, and receiving this name Anuradha Dasi from Srila Gurudeva. I mean, completely just so just mind-boggling. It's not obviously a coincidence. That relationship with Guru is eternal. And so this is exemplifying how Srila Gurudeva is Trikalagya. Shri Guru is just the knower of all of these things. So he knew this. And then that same day, Ramchandra Prabhu, he had said, oh, she sings like a kukaya, cuckoo bird. And so, then Srila Gurudev, he said, okay, she will lead the first kirtan. And I'm thinking, what just happened? I received the beautiful name, and now I have service to Srila Gurudev. But I mean, again, even probably I was 10 times more nervous then than I probably am right now. My, just heart was beating out of my chest. Again, even more so than it is now. But I going into the assembly of devotees, I sat maybe towards off to the side, and I'm thinking, okay, well, Srila Gurudev, maybe he forgot, I can sit and, I don't have to do it. But no, Srila Gurudev, he pointed to me, and then he told me to come and sit. And so I sat next to my great uncle, who had been singing at that time, Nadiya Godrume, Nityananda Mahajan. And so then I was going to sing Radha Krishna Pran more. And so just Srila Gurudev is just so completely, I mean, miraculous, magical, however we can place it in English terms, but he's so much more than that. Like when they had put a crown on Srila Prabhupada in New Vrindavan, then they said, this is a nice sentiment, but Srila Prabhupada is so much more than this. So no matter, I don't really have the words to glorify Srila Gurudev, but somehow in some small attempt, if I've been able to glorify Srila Gurudev, then I'm hopeful and thankful that it's due to the mercy of all the Vaishnavas present here, and it's also due to the mercy of Srila Gurudev. So vancha kalpatirubhasha kripasindhubheva patitanam bhavaneva Vaishnavebhyo namo. Thank you.
I'll speak about your Sunita Didi's Pushpanjali. Can I just say, if she ever wants to come on our program, ever, you just let her know that she's more than welcome at any point. Because what she wrote in that Pushpanjali, number one, gave me goosebumps, and I nearly cried. But I get told off for crying in public, so I have to contain myself now. But it was incredible, and you can. Some people are good at speaking, and some people are good at writing to express themselves. And I bet your mom is good at both, because what she expressed, I could never write that in a Pushpanjali, but how she expressed her love and affection for Srila Gurudev is just beyond my comprehension, that she was able to do that in such a way, in a poetic way. She's just offer my dandavat pranams to her and just say thank you so much for taking the time to write such beautiful words to Srila Gurudev, because if anything out of anyone that's listening is Srila Gurudev's listening. I feel like Gurudev is always ever so present in our Sunday programs. It feels like sometimes he's looking like, okay, what are they going to say today? What are they going to say about me today? How are they going to express? And it just feels like he's watching and listening to this. And he'll just be so happy. I feel joyous, and I feel like Gurudev would be happy, because it's almost like you can feel sometimes when he's a bit happy. I don't know how to explain it anyways, but it was just wonderful. And your experience, we had Lochnath Prabhu come and speak a couple of weeks ago, and he explained a beautiful pastimes as well, and it was very, very nice to hear that. And I didn't realize that you were Asha auntie's niece.
Great niece, great niece. Yeah,
she's wonderful also. I've spent some time with her. She's wonderful as well. So you are really surrounded, and I think you're really protected by such wonderful Vaishnavas, and how fortunate. I sometimes wish that I was born in a Vaishnav family. To be growing up like that is a different path altogether, but how wonderful. And actually each member of your family sound as wonderful as each other in their own unique way. And like I said, Didi, before, you've just done a phenomenal job of really encapsulating Srila Gurudev. And I'm just really grateful to you. I don't know if Yashodananda Prabhu wants to add anything to that. No, okay. So thank you so much for coming in and taking your time to speak with us. You were super amazing. And hopefully we can do some seva together. Or if I can do some seva for you, that'd be wonderful.
No. Together.
I'm better at the for someone, but yeah, you can lead and I'll follow. I'm better at like that.
No. Hari Bol. Thank you.
Hari.